Hey everybody, welcome. It's our first one back since Labor Day, and hope everybody's getting better under control. I always find the week back is a little crazy, so hopefully this week's a little bit better for all of us. And I'm going to start our program today is on a new feature on insurance trusts. And this has been this literally, and Michaela would know, like this was on our list of 4,000 things to do. This is like 362. So it was very early on that we wanted to get this done, and it's taken a little while, but here we are. So I'm going to talk about insurance trusts. So I know this Thursday we're going to talk about it more substantively, but I want to talk about how we can now use them in eState and do them. So we've always had the idea that you can designate life insurance to a single beneficiary, right? So if you take your life insurance that's owned, your own life insurance, you drag it into JDA, into the joint designated assets, and then you pick a beneficiary, then we could always do that. That's no problem. Then what we did is we also offered this idea where you can designate life insurance through the estate. You can designate it to the same executors that you have for the will, but have them deal with it on the same terms as the residue that we've talked about before. That's the trustee for residue beneficiary. Now we have this third one, which is where you want to leave your insurance in a more complicated way that's different than what you're doing with the residue. Okay, so that's what we call trustee for specific distribution. So what we're going to do, just to show you how we do that, we're going to drag the life insurance into the joint designated assets box. Then we're going to go to other, and then we're going to pick trustee for specific distribution. Okay, now what happens when we do that is we now have basically, in essence, a residue provision to craft whatever we want to do with this life insurance. And it treats the life insurance proceeds as its own kind of asset, its own gift, and then we can divvy it up any way we want. We can run macros. So if we're just trying to do a simple gift that we've saved a macro for, and I'll just show you that, we can do that. We can add a simple gift to a group of people or a single beneficiary, or we can do complicated, dividing it into different segments and then dividing those into different segments, etc. So it's basically like a full residue clause. So I'm going to go simple first. So I'm going to add a gift. Let's say I'm in the surviving spouse. My client says, listen, I want to give everything to my spouse except my life insurance, which I want to go to my kids equally, but I want it in a trust because they're young. Okay, that's not an unusual, pretty typical. So I pick trustee for specific distribution. I add a gift. I say, okay, they want to give the insurance to my children in a trust to age whatever you want. You can put this in age 30, build out your own trust for this gift, mandatory payments, etc., gift overs, let's say to the beneficiary's issue, boom, then we've done that, okay? And so that's giving away 100% of the life insurance proceeds to the children in a trust, etc., okay? So if I did that, this would pop up. So this confirms that we're giving the life insurance to the trustee for specific distribution. You can see the amount. We've got three things here. The three dots is your typical when you want to edit the beneficiaries. I want to change from trustee for specific distribution to my estate or to a specific person. Okay, that's edit beneficiary. I can remove the gift completely, or I can copy it to another scenario. The descendants only scenario probably is what I would want to do. So it applies whether my spouse is alive, or if my spouse is not alive but I leave descendants, I want it to go this way. Okay. This pie chart thing is if I want to edit the specific distribution. So I'm good with it going to a trustee for specific distribution, but I want to alter how I've divvied it up. And so then I can do that. Okay, and change this any way I want. Let me just show you how it comes out, and then we'll do a little more complicated things. So this is a pretty typical trustee for specific distribution, and it drafts it accordingly. It says, well, I haven't appointed any estate trustees. So let's let's do that. Let's appoint estate trustees for a second. So let's say we're saying in the appointments, I want spouse first. Just we'll do our typical one. Where's Homer? Homer is there. And then if Homer can't do it, then we've got, I don't know, Heather as the alternate. Okay. So we've got our trustees. We would have done this before, but now we're back into the planning, and we want to see what that life insurance distribution looks like. So we click on our viewer, we go to life insurance, and it's going to say, take that life insurance, pay it to the same people who are the trustees. So Homer first, and then if Homer's not able, Heather, and they're called the insurance trustee. And the insurance trustee is then directed to divvy up the proceeds as follows. So divide the proceeds into as many equal shares, and then it creates a gift. Okay. And so it does all of that. And so it's like any life insurance declaration that we do. You can also, as you know, probably, if you include your life insurance declarations in your will itself, then it will do this in the will itself. Okay. As a separate section right at the top, etc. It's just a style thing, really. So that's how we do kind of a simple trustee for specific distribution. I'm just going to pause there for a second. Any questions about that or how you use it? And then I'll show you a few tricks. Does that all make sense? All right. So let's say we wanted to take the life insurance, but we wanted to carve out a certain amount off the top in cash. So, you know, $100,000 to this person and the balance to the kids. Let me show you how you do that. So we want to edit the gift. So we click on that. It opens this up. Now, whenever you're doing something fancy, like adding different gifts within, you know, pulling out specific amounts, etc., you can use our use segments button. And this applies in the balance of the estate or the residue section as well. If we use segments, this is saying, okay, take 100% and deal with it as follows. Well, we say, we want you to take 100%, but we want you to carve off something at the beginning. So we can just add a gift. And let's say we say, listen, I want to set up an amount going to Abraham. So I can do that. And I'm going to pick the amount. I'm going to say it's going to be, you know, $100,000, and I can do whatever I want. Do I want to give it to him? Absolutely. Do I want to set up a trust for him to do that? Those kinds of things. I can do that. Okay. And so now what's going to happen is it's going to give $100,000 to Abraham Simpson and the balance of the proceeds to the children. And so we have a good help desk article on when to use segments, and that can help clarify that. But you know, if you're doing anything fancy or you're not sure, always reach out using the question mark, and I'll show you that. But so that's how you would do that. And then if I went to the preview and I refreshed it, you'll see it would say the same thing: give it to the trustees to receive the proceeds, and then here's what I want you to do with it: transfer $100,000 to Abraham, and then deal with the balance of the proceeds. Okay, so that's what we've got. So that's how you do these trustee for specific distribution. It's only applicable for life insurance on your own life, right? That you own, where you can do this, which makes some sense because you're getting proceeds on your death. And so that is, that's how you do it. You know, if you've been doing this for very long, you know that this is not that uncommon a situation, especially in the surviving spouse scenario. Might be in a second marriage, might not even necessarily be in a second marriage, but where they say, listen, I just want to give everything to the kids, or everything to the spouse, I'm sorry, but I want to carve out, I want to give my life insurance because it's tax-free. That would be a great asset to give to my kids. And so I want to carve that out, and I want to do that. Either carve it all out, or give, you know, 1/3 of it to the kids, the other 2/3 to the spouse. Like, you can do whatever you want to do there. So that's how our new life insurance trustee for specific distribution works. Anybody seen that in their practice where they wanted to do that? Or am I the only one? Hopefully not. It's been on the list a long time, so I would think that it's what, you know, what we see. So any questions, comments, anything on this topic, anything on any other topic? Michaela, got any anecdotes? I'm just kidding. Any questions, guys? It'll be the shortest webinar of all time. All right. Oh, there's a question in our chat. Just by the way, just feel free to unmute and just, yeah, jump in if you have any questions about it or anything else. All right. No. One thing I did want to mention then is, give me 1 second. I'm just going to find. So I got an inquiry from one of the trust companies, and one of the senior trust advisors, wills and estate advisors in Western Ontario, so southwestern Ontario near London, has reached out and said that they currently have an outdated list of lawyers around Ontario and are looking to add more names. We've recognized that those lawyers using eState Planner typically have superior wills, and we would like to add them to our referral list. So if there's anybody, I don't know if they're looking for GTA lawyers, but if you want, I'll be happy to, if you're an eState user, they're looking for eState users at this trust company, and I'm happy to pass it along. It's a major bank. So let me know, but that's a nice plug for eState, and I'm glad to see them agreeing that it's that they use it, so, and I like it. We've also updated Royal Trust's powers. We've updated a few other trust companies' powers, so we keep that. We try to keep that right up to date. So, anything else? Anyone want another demonstration? Want to see how to do anything else? You guys are experts. All right. Anybody want to say anything? Unmute. Are you still there? Charles, you got nothing? Maybe we've forced people not to unmute. Well, I'm going to then say thanks, everybody. And I hope that helps, and hope you use it. And
I'm good for the moment. Thanks, Jordy.
Okay, good. I'm glad that we're letting people unmute. Well, thanks, guys. Feel free. I'm happy to stay on if anybody's got questions that they didn't want to ask in front of the group, but I'm here. So thanks. Side note, do you have a list of trust company specialists you recommend? Like at each trust company? Yeah, I can certainly get you that. Great. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of the day, and hope to see you guys Thursday when we do more substantive stuff on insurance trusts. Take care.